What's going on? It's Justeeni here. I haven't shown an FFA in a while, and this time I decided to cause chaos. So I've been getting invited to a lot of FFAs by this guy, the Imperius player. And I haven't been performing the best in the FFAs, probably because I suck at FFAs. And I decided, you know what? Just this once. I'm not doing this a second time, but I have to do it at least once. Not only because I have to win one of these at some point, but also I feel like it's necessary to show you guys the sheer stupidity that is Saimanti. To say that they are a free win in FFAs is an understatement. They are completely broken, and I'm going to show you exactly why in this game. So let's just get right into things. So the settings with this, it is a 400 tile continent, which means it is a nice big map. Lots of players, so still lots of player density, lots of early meets, but a big map means there will be late game. And you wouldn't believe what the best late game tribe is. Anyway, so yeah. Speaking of late game, we're not there yet, we're actually in the early game, but this barter is not getting the second city. I'm taking it, and I go for recycling. I wants to get an early centipede to finish things off, which in retrospect isn't actually that good, but you know, I at least have recycling for now. And we're both kind of trapped on this continent. I go for the explorer just in case there's anything else going on here. No, there isn't. So this is just a matter of cleanup. This barter is dead because I am up 3 cities to 1, and I have a shaman to boost warriors. That's really all there is to it here. Yeah, they try to be really annoying. They fight their hardest. I get another nice workshop. To make a long story short, though, I'm going to be skimming over some parts because this is a pretty long game. I get some meeting stars from Imperius to set up potential peace and embassies and all that, which is very nice. And eventually this barter dies, I swear. Things continue. Other stuff's happening elsewhere, so I'm actually falling quite a bit behind. Seems that Saimanti isn't so good yet, but just you wait. I get the pop growth. Border growth just isn't very good there. Finally can take out barter. Veteran warriors, and nobody's gonna steal my city out of nowhere. Then network. Get that going. Border growth my capital. And then destroy right after because I just wanted the border growth, I guess. That wasn't actually worth it. I lost a star out of that exchange, but I do get an embassy on my capital. And then trade. This is the grand idea here. And we're going to be able to get some very strong Clathers. I'm just kind of staying content in my own area. Not really doing much. Getting all these Clathers set up. Lots of economy. I meet Luxador. Hello. How are you? Organization to get my first centipede going. On turn 13. Very slow by Saimanti standards. And getting hydrology. But I've been kind of just trapped here for a while. Now another centipede going. I was kind of more focused on trade now. I meet Shinji as well. Get some delicious meeting stars there. Get a good border growth. And then I get my Boomchi, my strategy to offer peace. And we're going to be upgrading these Clathers. So more time passes. My economy will get upgraded slowly but surely. Everyone around me is not going to bother me, and they are going to stay friends, which is a huge mistake. If you see Saimanti in an FFA, you need to convince all your friends to kill the Saimanti. Squish the bugs, or else the bugs will squish you. I'm able to get a nice embassy chain here. Meeting Quetzali, getting these embassies going to just further improve my economy. See some resignation stuff happening on the other side of the map. I don't care about any of that drama though. I'm just doing my own thing. But yeah, Luxador and I are best pals right now. Shinji and I are best pals right now. I get a border growth just because every little tile space is helpful if you're playing Saimanti. Except for this mountain tile, nobody cares about that. Another centipede going, and I'm just getting some free vision, free spirit, get rituals going, get my centipedes ready to get some good boosting setups. See, Shinji actually quite slow to set up markets, but does eventually get them set up. You can see more peace shenanigans a lot more shenanigans with that. But I am continuing to set up my economy. I have 4 cities, by the way, 64 star per turn. That is something else. I mean, for FFAs, it's not that crazy because embassies exist, and yeah, embassies are embassies. More embassies on the way. Midji, getting another embassy established. But I'm just kind of content here. I'm sitting in 3rd place. This is a might FFA, by the way. That's another thing. If you want Scimanti to not be so problematic, play Glory, because then late game, at least the late game that you're going to see won't ever happen, because the game will end before that point. More peace treaties. The upside down peace treaty icon is kind of annoying me, but oh well. And now I'm setting up my Dumux. And this is the disgusting part of Scimanti that you've probably seen plenty of times, but I have to show it once again. So Chinchi is going to set up their economy after finally taking out the barter in their continent. But I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. I don't remember if it was this turn or the next turn, but Chinchi's going down. We'll just say that. But put quite simply, I think it was this turn, yes. Yeah, it was this turn. So Chinchi is cooked. They are not going to live at all. It's just not going to happen. This is an insane Dumux army, and I have 81 star per turn, so I can spam 4 Dumux a turn and then some. And also max out my tech tree while I'm at it. And Chinchi tries their best to defend, but they were not prepared, so they don't really have a lot of units on hand. More things happen. We don't care about what the other people do in their turns. So I reject the peace treaty, of course, because Chinchi wants to be friends, but I'm not going to be friends. So I'll just take out their giants like they're nothing. Now, I don't have an easy way of attacking, but I do have a way of attacking. I'm throwing a bunch of units in. The moth's eggs are creating a nice wall here. I go for archery, aquatism, to get the defense bonus on the water tiles. And Chinchi does try their best to defend. They are able to even get the giant push. Not able to Houdini my centipede, but they do get a giant push. And now I have to re-siege, but this time they are more prepared. They've got mindbenders as well. That was a very strong option against old Scimanti, but these days it doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. So eggs explode, making the foundations to poison everything, and yeah, you know, these funny super units are so durable until they get poisoned, and then they just kind of fall apart. It's kind of obscene. Yep, they just chew through their giants like it's nothing. And I'm quickly swarming them. Another centipede siege. They can unsiege, but I'm going for the living island now because that's how I'm going to set up the rest of my sieges. I need to get algae on these tiles to have an easier way of attacking. And yeah, living islands, this is kind of the other absurd late game unit with Scimanti. 20 stars, yes, but in this case, completely affordable. And it's basically like training a juggernaut. It's a juggernaut that you can train. And it makes algae. It does have half the HP, but it makes up for it by having poison and retaliation and all sorts of other fun stuff. So it's basically like training a juggernaut for 20 stars. And I have a lot of economy. Luxador is luckily content to be friends with me as they witness me absolutely demolish the Chinchi. They are kind of busy demolishing their own foes, so they just kind of let me be, which was not actually a good idea for them. I don't blame them though, you know. They're just trying to play the game, you know, as Midji 1 intended. But when there's Scimanti, you can't play the game as Midji 1 intended. You have to stop the menacing bugs, and this living island is sieging, and it's looking like it's holding. Now I go Spiritualism. I don't remember why. I think I just bought it because I could. I have free will. But yeah, Shinji's trying to hold on. Now with the bombers going in, able to take out some of my centipedes, but I have so many that I don't really care if I have to lose a few, so long as I take out Shinji, and I don't even lose very many. And more things continue to happen. We can just kind of ignore Luxor for now because they just don't bother me. Now I buy more techs before I capture that city. I'm almost done with my tech tree. Actually, just kidding, I am done with my tech tree. Those are literally the last 2 techs. Okay, cool. So yeah, now I can spend all these stars on more economy and more units. And I am just continuing to pump out Dumux. And yeah, Shinji, you know, the tribal known for giants, is running out of giants. They're really low on giants, and I'm able to recycle a lot of things, destroy a bunch of stuff, to have more stars, to make more units, and do more things. Shinji, again, able to take out another centipede, but quickly losing ground. There's a sneaky Dumux that is about to absolutely obliterate all those catapults and bombers. Luxor taking the longest turn out of everyone because he's doing an awful lot. Don't worry, there are plans to deal with everyone. Just not right now. For now, we just take out Shinji. Dumux jumps in and deals an insane amount of damage for a single unit. Not a super unit, by the way. That is a 10-star unit that you can train every single turn in each one of your cities for 10 stars. It's pretty good. And yeah, Shinji's defenses are quickly falling apart as I'm hurling a bunch of units. I've also got a bunch of living islands. Still trying to hold on. It is an attempt at a defense, but still ultimately futile. All it's doing is just mildly inconveniencing me. That's all you can do against Saimanti at this point, is just mildly inconvenience him. And it's turn 25, but we are still not done yet. I get another embassy. More living islands. Just absolutely destroying everything. The bombers getting completely shredded. Getting another segment. And now 2 cities sieged at once. Bunch of segments from the centipedes. And when I'm taking these cities, I'm also making a bunch of fungi, so it's just allowing me to grow even more out of control. I'm keeping the market around because it's free eco, and I even get another moth because one of the larvae from the moth got left around for long enough. Shinji just decides to destroy everything. I was going to do that anyway. Imperius, though, does take one of my cities, so I'm a little mad about that. But even with only 7 cities to my name, I am still one of the strongest, if not the strongest player on the map. You don't really need very many cities to say Manti because you have the funny Dumux, which no one else has, and the living islands, which no one else has. I'm able to get another segment, and I just have so many Dumux. I've got living island making algae everywhere, more algae everywhere. Luxor and I still buddies for now. Now, I decided to break peace with Luxor. This was actually a mistake, and you'll see why in just a little bit. A bunch of things get destroyed. We don't care about that. Imperius does their thing, and then Imperius and Luxor decide to be at peace with each other for a bit. And then Luxor just kind of sends all their units back. Now, normally Saimanti can't break through anything, and they can, but this is actually a pretty difficult setup to break through because there's this very annoying drawbridge. Now, with normal tribes, this would effectively become a stalemate. With Saimanti, I can still break through on the water. It's just going to take forever. So I realized, this was probably a bad idea to break peace with Luxor and now have to worry about them for the rest of the game. So I realized that, and I did destroy some of Luxor's stuff. Oh, I guess I tried a little bit. you'll see it doesn't really go anywhere. I tried a little bit to do something. Yeah, I don't really commit any of my units. Did I send peace this turn? I might have sent it the following turn. We'll see. So Imperius doing their thing. Yeah, it wasn't this turn. So I just lose my living island, and it's gonna take me a while to break through. I do have a line of algae, and I can eventually break through and reach their back line and do all of that. It's just gonna be really hard to do. But Luxor sends peace to me, which was a huge mistake, because if Luxor does not try to destroy me, there's no hope. I mean, there's pretty much already no hope at this point. Like, I don't actually see a way for both of them to 2v1 me. I actually just have too many units for that point. Like, yeah, now I just break peace with Imperius. And I have so many units, and it's just going to get even more disgusting. Like, you think, oh my goodness, there are so many units on the map, so many living islands, so many Dumux. I'm even getting hexapods out to actually round out my army. Because you do like having a little bit of hexapods for cleanup instead of having to waste additional Dumux. Just keep things efficient. Luxor is doing their thing, just optimizing their economy. They're kind of hoping to become unstoppable while I waste my time dealing with Imperius. They even break peace with Imperius to take their own share of cities. But Imperius is going to go down, and they're going to go down pretty quickly. I'm able to deal a lot of damage. Just take out the giant. Just like that. Now, with the way that turn order is, Imperius can unsiege, and then Luxor can then take that Imperius city. So, trying to do all that was actually futile. But there's another giant. Oh, and now it's dead. Just like that. No ranged units required. Just brute forcing with Dumux and poison. More Dumux, more centipedes. I have so many stars to work with as well. Now, stars are actually a limiting factor for Symantry. You can't just have infinite stars because your units are a little too expensive for that. Living Islands are 20 stars apiece, but I mean, you can use all the stars that you get, unlike other tribes, which eventually have so many stars they can't even use them. But all I need to do is just continue to spread algae. Imperius is going to try to defend, but my living islands will make progress, whether they like it or not. And they just have to accept that fact. Luxor continuing to optimize the markets. They're pretty strong looking markets, but they're kind of more decorative at this point because Luxor already has all the economy he needs. And I only have 89 star per turn because I lost all my embassies, but that number will soon increase. Don't you worry. More explosions happen. The algae continues to spread. Living Island goes. More Living Island stuff. Get another centipede head because my other one was very injured. And I'm gonna make some damage happen here. This was kind of weird play. I'm just losing my centipede, but oh well. I'm pushing all of these units. This is just insane. And again, it's going to get even more insane. There's going to be even more than just this. Like, Imperius is just holding on. Well, not anymore. They actually are losing the city. And they're going to keep losing ground. I'm going to keep spreading algae. And, yeah. Imperius is even getting the giant push. Not that it matters. Luxor is just going to take that city back anyway. And Luxor was probably hoping, oh, you know, I'm going to have a really big city advantage against this Symantry player after I take all these cities. That's enough to win the game, right? Right? You know, normally in FFAs, when you're playing with normal tribes, normally if you have enough of a city advantage, you just win. But what constitutes enough of a city advantage is a little different when playing against Symantry. And they're not going to have enough cities to win because I'm just going to steamroll through Imperius. spread more algae everywhere. And even though algae can be destroyed, it is not easy to destroy. It's very hard to destroy. Way, way easier for me to make it than to destroy it, even though I have to use 20-star units just to spread my algae. It's still not a problem. I have 97 star per turn. Now I break peace with Luxador. Even though I haven't finished Imperius off yet, I decide, you know, I got nothing better to do. Like, it's not like Luxador can do anything to me. Like, no, seriously, it's already impossible for Luxador to win. There's no way for Luxador to win. And I will inevitably win with enough Dumux spam. But Imperius just kind of destroying everything. And yeah, Luxador's got a pretty nice setup. Lots of cities. Lots of economy. Lots of units. But I did break peace first, so they can't attack me. And yeah, despite the fact that Luxador has all this scary stuff at a glance, it's not really going to matter too much. I'm just going to make my way dealing with Imperius. This replay is really taking a while. Siege another city. Keep expanding in the water. Saimanti has egregiously slow naval expansion, but it is inevitable. And doesn't matter how long it takes because Saimanti isn't exactly racing against the clock. Because, you know, the whole best late game in the whole game. And I'm deciding to be a little aggressive here just to force a response. You know, be annoying with all the Dumux, so that's less resources they can dedicate elsewhere. It's not really actually necessary, but, you know, I can take more cities. Now I've passed 100 star per turn, more Clathers going. More Dumux, more living islands, more everything. Population cap is starting to be an issue in some cities. So I've just got so many units built up. They do get the unsiege, but they cannot unsiege this city here. So Imperius allowing me to have more cities. Not really allowing, they don't have a choice in the matter. Luxador trying his hardest though. Able to get a nice chain and actually take out my centipede. Chain even further. Take out a shaman. You know, I left them some chains, which I shouldn't have, but they still lose. So, yeah. I don't really know what to say at this point, because all I've been saying is that this game has been over for many turns, because Saimanti is not a fair tribe. Because, you know, that's all that has been happening. There's a game being played, but what is truly happening here? More algae. Like, I'm just gaining ground. And there's no real way to fight back at this unless I hand over more chains, but I decided to finally blow up my segment, so then there's no chance of me screwing things up. I'm idiot-proofing my setup. Getting more hexapods back because I still need hexapods. And mostly Dumux is still going to do the job, though. And I'm getting more cities. Now I'm going to be like barely even behind in cities. And again, it's worth noting, there is no breakthrough for Luxador. It's just not happening. Another unsiege there. Imperius just trying to make sure I don't win, which is fair, because I'm playing Saimanti. I swear I'm not going to play Saimanti in an FFA again. This was a one-time thing. Unless, like, someone wants to do an FFA with only Saimanti, then it's actually, you know, fair because everyone has access to Dumux. But with one player being Saimanti, it's not fair. You cannot convince me that this is fair in any way. There's no way to beat this. This is just, yeah. I've got living islands. I just have so many units. I'm not even using them very well. I'm being very wasteful, but I still have plenty of stars, so it's not exactly an issue. And I haven't even really like fully taken advantage of everything that I have set up. I'm getting another shaman up here, more living islands and stuff. Another centipede. Chilling with a little over 120 star per turn. And Luxor has a lot of things, but they don't have an answer to Dumux. Now they do, again, I give them another chain, so they chain my shaman again. Oh well, they chain 2 units with 2 knights. Whatever will they do? Things continue to happen, but honestly, I think you guys have got the point already. I make more units, I advance them closer, and I'm just gonna gain more space. I'm gonna get more and more and more and more algae until eventually it's as if we're playing on a drylands map. Imperius finally resigns. And Luxador is trying to build up as many units as possible, you know, kind of trying to copy me, but it's not nearly as good because knights aren't as good as Dumux. Stacking up Dumux is way more dangerous. Big, bulky, 20 HP. Big boys. And yeah, more algae. So now I can finally steal this city. Let me just continue to skip. These turns are taking a very long time. I've got 20,000 points. That's a lot of points. And the Luxor are still staying. You can see my turns are way longer because I can do more in my turns. And I think this was the last one. I finally destroy Imperius, and it's just a 1v1. And I am starting to just steamroll. Now actually breaking through towards the cities. Yeah, this is the last turn. With still over 200 stars to my name, and an absolutely insane amount of Dumux. Hydrogen bomb versus coffee and baby. And the hydrogen bomb wins. To absolutely nobody's surprise, they just give up at this point. I mean, like, we can look at what they have. Yeah, they're cooked. They don't even have very many cities. They got a bunch of knights, but there's absolutely no hope. Absolutely none. My Dumux are going to shatter their defense. I'm going to just get more and more angles of attack. Eventually I can reach this back line over here, so that I can actually break through at this point. And yeah, they're just toast. So yeah, very fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.